How's it going, Chumpy? My name is LoveBugTV and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing the sub-series that we've got going on the channel, and that is going to be the legendary set overview. Today's episode is going to be the Slaughter set. We have a close-up view on the screen now. As you can see, it looks very similar to the Bright Lords and Mystics set, except this one has a more goldish and red theme to it. The overall set is a very interesting trade-off, and so of course I'll go into that as per usual in the gear review, and I'll talk about my build. But yeah, overall, I've had a lot of fun actually using this set. It's quite good. Using this set gives you the ability to use lots and lots of damage, and it just looks really cool in general. Of course, unfortunately, it is pretty much a retexture of the Mystic skin, which is a big shame, considering if you saw our last episode where we covered the Outlaw set, they gave a complete unique armor appearance to the actual Outlaw Legendary set, and considering this is also a DLC armor set, I feel like they should have gone out of their way to make it look extra cool. Maybe they should have given Talion the ability to have like his own sort of leather sort of thing, very similar to like the some of the captains you get in the game, which look very similar to like the Leatherface horror sort of character. You know, I don't know. Maybe that would look a bit too creepy, but you know what? Whatever. I have something to say. I'm gonna get straight into the gear review, and I'm gonna talk about what build I like to run using this set. Okay, guys. So we are now gonna be having a close-up look on the Slaughter set. As you see here, we're starting things off with the Blood Sword. This one does 172 damage, and that's because I actually just got it at level 81. And this gives you the sword design made for Slaughter. Of course, it's the same for all of them. As you see, dagger made for Slaughter. Pretty generic. But as you see there, recover 15 health when killing an enemy. It's alright. I mean, of course, when you're playing on Brutal and you can literally one-hit grunts, it's pretty good actually. And this, of course, gives you a 10% critical hit chance. Pretty cool. Moving on, we have the Blood Dagger. This one does 1300 damage, and this one recovers 15 health again whilst killing an enemy. However, this is just killing an enemy in general, so I don't have to stealth attack or anything. So effectively, these two weapons work in any situation. And this gives increased stealth damage when health is filled. This is completely useless considering we're looking at the set bonus there, but we'll come to that in a minute. Okay, moving on to the Blood Longbow. This does 432 damage and has 13 elf shot. Incredibly strong. Of course, this is a longbow, so it's doing extra damage. And 13 elf shot is an incredibly high number of actual just elf shot, so it's pretty good. It has recover 15 health again when killing an enemy, and this time it gives the 25% chance to replenish 1 elf shot per range kill. As I covered in my Outlaw set with the bow, getting this secondary effect is incredibly strong, because if you can get a little bit of focus recovery, either through prestige skills or maybe a rune or something, you can just chain together kills. It's just really good. Of course, this is a longbow, so of course you're able to go through enemies, and so yeah, you've got lots of crowd control on this weapon. Moving on, we have the Blood Armor. This is one of the coolest looking parts of the gear set, and you get recover more health when killing an enemy. And this time you get 250 health recovery when killing a captain, 250, as I said before, that's about a third of your health, so it's not too good, but you know what, it's still a bit of health. And then we have the Blood Cloak, recover 15 health again, and this time increased damage dealt by beast allies. Yeah, for some reason this cloak actually becomes incredibly bright. I feel like they should have made it the same colour as the armour's sort of like, I don't know what they call standards, I suppose. Like, you see how the cloak is just a much brighter red. I feel like they messed up a little bit there. If they made it the same colour and they just made it slightly darker, it would look much cooler, but they didn't. And then finally, we have the Blood Rune, and we have recover 15 health when killing an enemy, and increased damage dealt by Uruk allies. So overall, we've got an interesting set here. And as you see there, we're getting 15 health on every single piece of gear that we have here. So you're actually getting, if you hold all 6 pieces, you're getting 90 health per kill. And considering you have your total health of 700, that's almost 10%. Well, that's over 10%, like per just basic grunt kills. That's very cool. But as you see here, the set bonus is slowly draining health, but briefly increases damage after a drain or dominate. And then the 4 out of 4 bonus is having your followers and beast allies near will increase your damage by 40%, but their health slowly drains. The 2 out of 2 set bonus is actually pretty good, because if we actually just quickly exit out here, you'll see here that it is draining our health. However, it will not kill us. If we just keep walking for a little bit, it will eventually stop. It should stop about now, but it's not. Oh, there we go. So as you see there, even though it doesn't actually mention a cap, you will not be able to kill yourself by just wearing the armor. As you see that, it does stop at this point. And considering if you're playing on higher difficulties, this is perfect, because when you're playing on Brutal, you're going to get one hit anyway, so having this little health doesn't actually matter. So overall, the actual set bonus, doesn't, when it's affecting you, is actually pretty good. And of course, the 40% bonus damage is just really good. If you just go in, you say you use like Ceaseless Might, you go in for a drain on one guy, and then you get an execution on the captain, and of course that's 40 bonus damage. Good. However, the 4 out of 4 bonus is where this set sort of messes you up. Having followers and beasts nearby increases your damage by 40%, so it's a massive damage boost, but their health slowly drains. Now, I cannot tell whether or not that has the same cap on your followers. But the point is even if it does have a cap, you are effectively going to kill your captains and almost everyone near you when you're using this set. And which is why I would heavily advise not using this set like in sieges, because if you're just running around, like especially on the attack, when you're going to be literally with your captains throughout the entire time, you're just going to kill them. And I guess if you're using, if you're like late game, the raw level later, you can just resurrect them. It's not a big problem. But really, it is very, very problematic. But of course, if you're on the defense, it's not as bad. And yeah, pretty much, it's an interesting effect, certainly. I mean, the damage bonus is incredibly strong. So literally, if you get a drain and you're near like a grunt or something that you dominated, then you'll be able to get 80 bonus damage. So in this situation, taking the dominate over some other sort of over one of the other skills is advised. As you know, I like to run Bright Lord's Wrath, but in this situation, running domination is probably better. Since killing enemies, you're going to get loads of health back anyway. So I would run domination on this build just so you can take advantage of that for that 4 out of 4 set bonus. Now, if I was going to be using this set, I would get rid of the sword and put it on Humiliator, because it's got the exact same secondary effect and unlimited might is absolutely overpowered. And of course, the only thing we're missing out here is with the bonus health. But the problem is here is we have the dagger. This increased stealth damage when health is filled is completely useless because you'll literally never be on max health. So I'll also swap this out. It's up to you really what you want to go for. I'll probably go for either the Outlaw Dagger or the Threshing Dagger. Of course, Threshing Dagger there gives you explosions every 8 seconds, whereas this one gives you massive critical hit damage. And of course, if you chain stealth attacks onto captains, you can get some mental damage with that. And so I'm just going to run the Outlaw Dagger. Of course, if you want to keep the sword, then the other pit I would recommend getting rid of would be the Cloak. You could probably switch this out to the Mask of the Undying. However, because that's getting nerfed, I'm just sort of holding off from just recommending using the Mask of Undying on almost every legendary set, because it may not be as good. But effectively, this is going to be the build I'm going to run. Effectively, yeah, the Cloak is, I would say, is probably another bit that you would get rid of. It's either the sword or the Cloak. I'm going to run Humiliator on this build because I feel like if I just put on the Nazgul Mask, it's just not actually like a good demonstration of skill, because all you have to do is mash X and then you're alive. So effectively, this is going to be the build I'm going to be running. Of course, if you want to be extra safe when using this build, you could switch out your gems to lifesteal, because of course, lifesteal pretty much, you'll be able to sustain yourself and probably be able to counteract the actual life drain, even more so than getting literally the 15 health regen on pretty much all the armor sets. Of course, when you're only doing 4 out of 4, that's going down to 60. So, 60 health is not too bad. But, yeah, of course, you definitely want to be running the 30% less damage to followers, because, of course, that will reduce the damage that they will get drained by using this set. And, yeah, that's pretty much the build I'm going to be running in the Siege. So, effectively, play that gameplay now. Have fun looking at me using this dope-ass set. I must say, it is very, very cool. It looks very nice. Anyway, I'll catch you in a bit when we do the outro.
The force of Mordor must be held if Middle-earth is to be protected.
I dreamed you'd be the one to take my head off and end it all. Too bad dreams rarely come true, eh?
Oh, my dude, you just got pranked. Bet you didn't see that one coming, huh?
So we fight! Fight! Man! Put him in blood! Okay!
Have you ever seen a man flayed? Oh, how you'll weep before I'm done with you. I'm going to rip off your jawbone and use it to gouge out your eyes.
Alright guys, that was the siege. That was absolutely insane gameplay there. We we nearly died like twice, but thankfully the game got a bit yeeted, and as you saw there at the very end, that guy actually got killed by a defender. But yeah, that is a bit of a big joke, really. For some reason, my captains were actually doing incredibly well. They were actually like killing them really quickly. And I actually had to double check the actual gear to check it wasn't actually a damage bonus to them. But no, the actual set bonus gives you 80% bonus damage to yourself if you include the 4 out of 4 set bonus as well. So overall, the set is actually very strong. As you see that I was pumping out some insane damage. Problem is I had a little bit of trouble aiming the actual consume, because what the game does is, especially on console, because the controls are generally harder to use, it will usually attract your character to attack captains as a priority over other things. And so as you saw that, I was actually going in and draining captains, even though of course that doesn't do anything, instead of draining the grunt that was right next to them. However, if you can sort of get past that sort of hiccup and get used to how the actual consume controls work, then literally you go in, you consume someone, and then because they're now your minion, using domination, you've got an 80% damage boost, you go in and execute, and I was just doing some insane damage, and of course using that humiliator sword, I'm able to just chain those executions together and just get some insane plays. So pretty much, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. The actual poll, or sort of like comment section thing I did, pretty much came back, and you guys want me to do the dark set first. So, unless of course you pretty much the next episode, which will probably be out Monday, will be dark. We'll be covering the dark legendary set. But of course, if you want to see another legendary set before that, well, not really before, I guess, the dark set, but sooner rather than later, then put it down in the comment section below. So then, if whoever gets the most votes, I'll do that one after the dark video. But pretty much, guys, I've said what I need to say. As I've said, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Cue the music.